What if the ultimate cure to your suffocating anxiety was hidden inside a secret blood-stained diary written 2 millennia ago? The most powerful man on earth never intended for you to read his darkest, terrified confessions, but knowing his secret will completely shatter your reality. Have you ever jolted awake in the dead of night, your heart hammering against your ribs for absolutely no reason, the glaring, sterile blue light of your phone casting ghostly shadows across the ceiling? You lie there, paralyzed, staring into the dark, forced to ask yourself a terrifying question. Why is it that we possess every material comfort our ancestors bled to secure, yet we are quietly rotting from the inside out, so profoundly impoverished and utterly exhausted in our desperate search for a single moment of peace? We are drowning in an era of unprecedented deafening noise, suffocating under a relentless digital avalanche where the crushing expectation to constantly achieve, endlessly perform, and forever be more is tearing our collective psyche apart. Our minds are overflowing, sprinting on a spiked treadmill that never slows down, leaving us nursing a deep spiritual fatigue that no amount of sleep can ever cure. Myth Eryndor welcomes you to this sanctuary of thought. If you have ever felt that cold, creeping dread of modern existence, I deeply urge you to subscribe to this channel right now, joining our journey so we can continue unearthing these vital, life-saving truths together. Take a slow, deliberate breath. Right now, there is no crisis you need to solve, because what I am about to share will shatter the very foundation of your modern anxiety. What if I told you that the ultimate antidote to this epidemic of overthinking doesn't come from a billionaire's cutting-edge wellness app or a hollow, newly published self-help bestseller? Instead, the lifeline we are so desperately gasping for comes from a private, profoundly vulnerable, and fiercely secret diary written over 2 millennia ago. These pages are not academic theory meant to be debated in ivory towers. They are the blood, sweat, and desperate tears of a man fighting a brutal, lonely war to survive his own mind. We are talking about the personal journals of Marcus Aurelius, the emperor of the Roman Empire. Stop and truly let the gravity of that sink in. Picture the most powerful human being on the planet, a man possessing absolute unquestioned authority over millions of lives, limitless wealth, and the power to command anything his heart desired. Yet in the suffocating silence of the night, shivering by the flickering light of a dying candle, in a tent on a blood-soaked frontier, this emperor sat completely alone, writing desperate, frantic notes to himself. He poured his deepest fears, his boiling anger, his paralyzing stress, and his agonizing struggle to remain a decent human being into a journal he never intended for the world to see. Realizing this changes absolutely everything. It completely obliterates the toxic illusion that if we just had a little more money, a bit higher status, or absolute control over our lives, our anxiety would miraculously vanish. Reading his secret confessions proves that wrestling with the agonizing demons of the mind is not a modern disease at all. It is the eternal, inescapable condition of being human. Time has radically altered our technology, but it has not changed a single thread of our fragile psychology. By stepping into the intimate, terrified thoughts of a man who literally ruled the known world, we are handed a staggering gift, the realization that we are not alone in our suffering, and that the ultimate blueprint for inner freedom has been quietly waiting for us all along. To truly understand the power of these private confessions, we must first examine how this man, burdened by the weight of an entire empire, built an impenetrable fortress within his own mind. Imagine waking up every single day knowing that countless people want you dead, that a devastating plague is ravaging your citizens, and that the borders of your world are collapsing under foreign invasions. Most of us would shatter under a fraction of that pressure, consumed by the sheer terror of how much is completely out of our control. Yet it was precisely in the heart of this relentless chaos that Marcus Aurelius discovered the ultimate sanctuary. He realized with agonizing clarity that attempting to control the external world is a fool's errand, a guaranteed recipe for a lifetime of misery. We do the exact same thing today, don't we? We tie our entire sense of self-worth to the unpredictable fluctuations of the stock market, the fleeting approval of strangers on the internet, or the unwritten future of our careers. We bleed ourselves dry trying to force the universe to conform to our desires. Marcus stops us dead in our tracks, grabbing us by the shoulders to deliver a truth that cuts through the noise. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. He constructed an inner citadel, a quiet, sacred space behind his own eyes, where the chaos of the Senate and the blood of the battlefield could never reach. When we stop fighting the reality of what we cannot change, an immense suffocating weight is lifted from our chests. We realize that the traffic jam, the rude co-worker, the financial setback, they are merely objective events. It is our judgment of them that inflicts the pain. By retreating into our own inner citadel, we reclaim the only territory we were ever meant to rule. Yet even within the safety of that internal fortress, Marcus faced an inescapable shadow that haunts us all, forcing him to confront the terrifying, beautiful fragility of human existence. We live our modern lives in a state of profound denial about our own mortality, operating under the arrogant delusion that we have an endless supply of tomorrows. We procrastinate on our dreams, we withhold forgiveness, and we waste thousands of irreplaceable hours agonizing over trivial dramas, all because we have forgotten how to look death in the eye. Marcus did not have the luxury of this illusion. He buried his own children, he watched his closest friends turn to ash, and he felt the inescapable decay of his own physical body. In the quiet, desperate moments of his journaling, he etched a chilling but profoundly liberating reminder into the page: you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. This was not a morbid obsession with the grave. It was a fiercely brilliant strategy to filter out the meaningless garbage of life. When you deeply internalize the fact that your time is running out, a profound shift occurs in your soul. Suddenly, the anxiety about how many followers you have, the petty argument you had with a neighbor, or the minor embarrassment at work completely evaporates. Death is the ultimate clarifier. It strips away the superficial layers of our ego and demands that we ask ourselves what truly matters. By keeping the specter of death close to his heart, this emperor learned to savor the raw, fleeting beauty of the present moment. He teaches us that accepting our mortality is not a reason for despair, but the exact catalyst required to finally start living with desperate, unapologetic purpose. Once the reality of our fleeting time sets in, the tragedies and hardships that once felt like cruel punishments begin to transform into something entirely different. We are conditioned by society to view pain, failure, and frustration as terrible interruptions to the lives we had planned. When a relationship shatters, when an illness strikes, or when our carefully laid out blueprints are burned to the ground, we collapse into a paralyzing state of victimhood, asking the empty sky why this is happening to us. Marcus Aurelius lived through betrayals that would break the strongest among us, including a devastating rebellion led by one of his most trusted generals. But instead of drowning in bitterness, he practiced a radical, almost terrifying form of mental alchemy. He believed that the universe does not make mistakes. Every obstacle placed in our path is not a roadblock. It is the raw material required to build our character. The blazing fire makes flame and brightness out of everything that is thrown into it. He teaches us that we cannot choose what happens to us, but we can absolutely choose to use it. That job you lost, it is the universe forcing you to find your true calling. That heartbreak, it is the forge that will temper your capacity for self-reliance. This mindset completely vaporizes modern anxiety because it turns the unpredictable nature of the future from a source of terror into a landscape of opportunity. When you stop demanding that life be easy and instead demand that life makes you stronger, you become truly untouchable. You stop surviving your hardships and start consuming them as fuel, transforming the very things meant to destroy you into the foundation of your greatness. Taking these ancient blood-forged truths and applying them to the chaotic noise of our modern lives is the final, most crucial step in reclaiming our stolen peace. Think back to that paralyzing moment in the dead of night, staring at the ceiling, bathed in the artificial glow of a screen that connects you to everything except yourself. We have spent our entire lives searching for salvation in the wrong places, chasing promotions, accumulating possessions, and numbing our minds with endless scrolls of digital distraction. But the ghost of an emperor whispers to us across the centuries, offering a profound sense of closure. His battered diary proves that peace is not a destination you arrive at once you have enough money, nor is it a luxury reserved for those with easy lives. Peace is a fierce daily discipline. It is the conscious decision to stand guard at the door of your mind, refusing entry to the toxic anxieties of the outside world. It is the quiet courage to accept your mortality, to stop fighting the things you cannot control, and to embrace every single hardship as a necessary teacher. The next time you feel the crushing weight of the world pressing down on your chest, I want you to remember the man in the tent. Remember that the same capacity for unshakable stillness that lived inside the most powerful ruler on earth is currently resting dormant inside of you. You do not need another self-help book. You do not need to reinvent yourself. You only need to strip away the noise and remember who you fundamentally are. The battle for your peace of mind is the only war that truly matters. Fight it well, guard your inner citadel, and finally allow yourself to rest. Conclusion. The timeless wisdom of Marcus Aurelius serves as a profound antidote to the relentless anxiety of our modern existence. Through his intimate reflections, we uncover the liberating truth that true power does not lie in dominating the external world, but in mastering our internal landscape. By retreating into our inner citadel, we detach our self-worth from the unpredictable chaos of daily life, be it financial struggles, social media validation, or professional setbacks. Furthermore, embracing our mortality is not a morbid exercise, but a vital clarifier. Acknowledging that our time is finite strips away superficial worries, urging us to live with fierce, unapologetic purpose. When we view life through this lens, adversity is no longer a cruel punishment, but a profound opportunity for alchemy. The obstacles in our path become the very fuel we need to build resilience, turning heartache and failure into the foundation of our strength. Ultimately, peace is not a destination or a byproduct of external success. It is a conscious daily discipline. We are called to wake up from the trance of modern distractions and realize that the unshakable stillness cultivated by a Roman emperor under siege is available to us all. We only need to stop fighting what we cannot control, guard our minds diligently, and transform our challenges into growth. The ultimate battle is for our own peace of mind, and it is a battle won entirely from within. The profound lesson: the ultimate freedom in life comes from realizing that while you cannot control what happens to you, you maintain absolute sovereignty over how you respond. The universe does not make mistakes. Pain is inevitable, but suffering is a choice born entirely from our own judgments. How to apply it today? Create a mental filter. When faced with a daily frustration, a traffic jam, a rude email, or a sudden loss, pause before reacting. Ask yourself, is this within my control? If it isn't, consciously release your grip on it and redirect your energy solely to your reaction. Embrace daily impermanence. Start your morning by reminding yourself that your time is limited. Let this fact immediately filter out petty grievances and the urge to doom scroll, allowing you to dedicate your hours only to meaningful work and the people you truly love. Flip the script on hardship. The next time you encounter a major setback, do not ask, "Why is this happening to me?" Instead, ask, "How is this happening for me?" Treat every frustration as a personal training ground to forge your patience, resilience, and self-reliance. Question for you: what is one specific thing currently outside of your control that you are going to consciously stop worrying about today? Please kindly share your answer in the comment section below. I would love to read your perspectives so we can all learn and draw inspiration from one another's journeys. Also, if you found value in this message, please hit the subscribe button to support the channel and give us the motivation to keep creating more life-changing content for you.